don't expect to take any more breaks anytime soon. So that 3 week break or 4 weeks, I'm not sure how long it was. Um, it's not going to happen again, hopefully. Um, it's just kind of just happened. A lot was going on in our house, and we had to do a lot. Um, so yeah, I'm here to talk about. I'm going to be doing, I believe, like 3 videos this week. This is going to be the first of the three. I might do four, not sure just yet. This is going to be the first of the three, and they're all going to be inspired by the Rio Olympics. The Rio the Rio Summer Olympics in 2016. I already filmed this video once, but when I looked back at it, it was really long, and I don't think I was very clear with my point, and it was I just was saying a lot that didn't need to be said, so this video is going to be more compact and more concise. What I'm going to be talking about in this very first video, it's going to be Gabby Douglas. And so as we all know, Gabby Douglas was, before the Olympics, she was the reigning Olympic champion in all around from 2012. She was part of the Fierce Five that won gold. So she already had 2 gold medals under her belt. First African American woman to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games. And I think, honestly, first Black woman, period, to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games. So she came in this year. Last year, people weren't sure if she was going to be able to make it back to the Olympics this year, but you kind of got the feeling that she was training to get back to the Olympics. Last year, she was at the World Championship. She got second only to Simone Biles in all around. This year, she won 2 all around, or the American Cup and something else in all around. The 2 that Simone Biles wasn't at. So it gave you the feeling that she was really, serious about coming back to the Olympics, and she probably was going to make it. So, the Olympic trials came, and as I was watching, first it was the P&G championships and then the Olympic trials. I was watching her, and as I was always watching her because I haven't seen her compete in a little while. I noticed that a bit of her demeanor had changed a bit from what I had seen previously, and she just seems way more to herself, and way more um, just kind of internalizes everything, and is careful not to let too much out. So I kind of noticed that, and I was like, this is different. Now she is a 20-year-old woman now. 4 years ago, she was a 16-year-old girl. So there's the maturity aspect, the fact that she's a woman now, not a girl. All that stuff. So a lot of things can change. So for me, I was watching. I was like, you know what? I understand. And of course, she's gone through a lot after she won her gold medal in 2012. People were talking about her hair and all that stuff, and people talking about how she didn't deserve the medal or whatever, and all these other things, that she's been dealing with. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I get it. I get it. I get it. Just let her live. Let her do what she needs to do, because it's like, maybe this is what she needs to do now to be successful. And it looked like it had been working for her. During the P&G championships and the Olympic trials, she did falter a bit. I'm not gonna lie. She did falter a bit, as she got 4th at the P&G championships, which wasn't too bad. She could have done much worse. And then at the Olympic trials, she was 7th. She had fallen off of the beam twice. She was still chosen for the team, as well as Simone Biles, Lori Hernandez, Allie Raisman, who was also part of the Fierce Five, and Madison Koshin. And she was chosen for the team by Marta Caroli, which means that Marta Caroli has a lot of faith in her. And Marta Caroli knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing when she's putting these teams together. She hasn't gone wrong once. So, obviously she knows what she's doing. A lot of people have been, since she was chosen from the team, a lot of people have been saying that Gabby doesn't deserve to be there and that she's taking another person's spot and all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, I get that you might be frustrated because your favorite gymnast didn't get there, but honestly, it's not like the men's team that kind of, the way they do it isn't very, um, really doesn't make sense. And it's nothing like the way Marta does it. Marta does it based on what they've been doing the whole season and what she can trust in them and what she knows they're capable of. And it has a lot to do with what she knows she can bring out of them if they may have had a bad meet, or what more she can bring out of them and how much more they can give. So it's more of how she knows each individual gymnast, Marta, because she does know them. So yeah, that was going on. Of course, if you hear that for the whole month leading up to the Olympics, of course you're gonna feel bad. But I could tell when she got there, I could tell that she just was kind of clammed up and kind of was just like there was a lot of pressure on top of her because, of course, she's the reigning Olympic champion and she has all these people who have been doubting her and she knows they're doubting her, but she's like, I'm going to be better. Um, and so, you could see that then, like a day before qualification round started, they figured out that Simone, Ali, and Gabby were all going to be competing for all around. Um, and it wasn't going to, Lori wasn't going to be in it. A lot of people were upset about that, which one doesn't make sense because even if we had switched Gabby and Lori around, Lori still would have gotten third and still wouldn't have competed in the all around finals, and it would have been Ali and Simone regardless, so nothing really changed there. Um, but both Ali and Lori had talked about the fact that Gabby and Simone were always going to be guaranteed an all around spot because Gabby can do everything and she's good at bars. So Marta was going to put her in everything. Ali and Lori's bars routines aren't quite as strong as Gabby's, so it was always going to be a decision between those two. Marta ended up going with Ali, but of course, people don't care about that and put all the blame on Gabby once again. Then again, stuff about her hair. It's been coming up. People talking about her hair and how her edges are messed up and why does her hair look so bad? Not realizing that this woman is doing physical work and she's sweating and she's flipping through the air and she's doing all these things. So regardless of what you do with your hair, it's never going to stay the same if you're flipping through the air and you're sweating. Like, things aren't going to stay in place. That's just the way that the body works. Um, but they don't say that stuff about Ali and about Madison. I also heard some things about Simone, but nothing as bad as what I heard about Gabby. Um, and of course, their hair is going to be messed up too, but they're just talking about Gabby's hair. Now, we go in, and even still, like, their hair's going to be messed up, but it's not going to be quite as bad because it's going to be easier for a white girl to put her hair back and make sure, put her hair back again and kind of stick it back into place, where a black girl, because of the texture of the hair, it's going to be a bit different and going to be a bit harder. So then that kept going on, and then they won the team finals, so they got gold. And they were playing the national anthem. They're all standing looking at the flag, and 4 of the 5 girls had their hands over their hearts. Gabby didn't. Now, for all of you that don't know, the only thing that you're required to put your hand over your heart for is the Pledge of Allegiance. It's the only thing you're required to put your hand over your heart for. You're not required to do that for the national anthem. You're just not. The only thing you're supposed to do is stand up and remove your hat, or any head garment thing. That is the only thing you're supposed to do. Other than that, you don't have to put your hand over your heart. I'm going to tell you right now, I never put my hand over my heart, and I haven't put my hand over my heart since I was 12, because every single time I'm like, what's the point of this? I'm just going to stand here and look at it, and it's still the same thing. Nobody's ever said that I need to put my hand over my heart, because it's not required. So, of course, all the fake patriotic people, the racists came out and were dragging her and trying to say, well, she doesn't, she's ungrateful and she should be so happy to represent America in the Olympics. And by not putting her hand over her heart, she is ungrateful and showing that she doesn't like America and that she doesn't want to be there and that she doesn't deserve this medal and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, well, for one, she won this for our country. So honestly, like, she did this for us. We didn't do that for her. She did it for us. So that's number one. Number two, she doesn't need to put her hand over her heart. Number three, she wasn't sitting down. She wasn't looking away. She didn't turn away from the flag. She was looking dead at the flag. Um, so there's no need for anyone to get mad. But of course, people are going to find any reason to get mad at Gabby and not let her live. And I'm just watching it, and as the Olympics are going on, like, you can tell that stuff is getting to her. As much as she may be trying to stay offline, you can tell that things are getting back to her, and she's hearing these things. And when you've been dealing with stuff for 4 years, yeah, you might be strong and all that stuff, and yeah, you're supposed to be able to take it. Also, people calling her crabby and saying that she has bad sportsmanship and that she wasn't just jumping out of her chair and cheering for Simone and Ali, even though she only, and I'm pretty sure she was just disappointed that she got third and couldn't compete in all around, because of the two per country rule. Even though she got third, she probably would have gotten third or second at that night if there wasn't the two per country rule. So I'm sure she was disappointed, but she was still clapping, and they only showed like 3 seconds, 2 seconds more like it. And people are over there saying, oh, she's upset and she has an attitude and all this stuff, and she just all these, and it's just like, well, you know what, if the internet had been picking you apart for 4 years straight, I would have an attitude too. I'm sorry, I would. If you just barely missed out of all around and getting another medal because of some bogus rule that the countries came up with a few years ago, that you weren't even competing at the Olympic level at that time, and now you can't compete for a medal because of that bogus rule, I'd be a little upset too, and I would be a little, kind of salty, you know? And honestly, like, she's given apologies, and she honestly doesn't need to apologize. She doesn't need to apologize for the way she feels. She doesn't need to apologize for what she does, because she hasn't done anything wrong. All she's doing is being a human being. She's being a woman. She's being a black woman. That's the only thing that's wrong with that's the only thing that you can even say is bringing this on, is the fact that she's a black woman, succeeding, and people want to tear her down at any moment that they can tear her down at. And I was reading a couple of interviews, or a couple of articles about her, and people were saying that she was giving or talking to people after her uneven bars, where she finished seventh, which was so sad. You could tell like things had gotten to her at that point, but she didn't want to give up on the uneven bars, because I could tell that she was struggling, fighting through it, because she had one mess up and just couldn't get herself back in the game. You could tell she was struggling. And at the end of it, like, she walked away, walked in a corner, and started crying. It made my heart hurt for her. And she doesn't deserve this. She doesn't deserve us. We don't deserve her. Because she is so amazing, and she has done so much for this country, and she's done so much for black girls. And honestly, if she were to ever see this, I just want her to know that she's amazing, and her mom is an amazing person for raising her to be this incredible woman that she's become. But yeah, I just want to say that just lay off Gabby, let her live her life, and let her be successful. And that's all I have to say. Till next time, bye.